Assalamu alaikum friends, how are you? A very interesting topic is going to be debated upon today, and that topic is Indian elites versus Pakistani elites. From where to begin? The defense officers of Pakistan, the judges, judiciary, civil bureaucracy, politicians, all of these, if they belong to Pakistan, they will be seen as very rich, having almost all the luxuries of life, with plenty of bank balance and so many of the properties. Take anyone, everyone having some sort of share in the government, officers, government employees, and the representatives. All of them are very rich. All of them are wealthy. Although the state of Pakistan is very weak, almost always bankrupt economically, almost always bankrupt. But all of these, the ruling class of Pakistan is very rich. And all of them I have mentioned and talked about, all of them are rich. Now, if at all we travel to India, and there we will find that their defense officers are not rich. They don't have much of the properties and the bank balances, and they don't own the luxuries, palatial villas or luxury fleet of luxury vehicles. All of that here in Pakistan, the ruling class, the elites. But they, the defense officers, the civil bureaucracy, the judiciary, judges, and the elected representatives, you will find that all of them are living like middle class people. They don't belong to the upper class at all. They don't have much of the money. They don't have the crores and the crores and the crores of rupees. All the defense officers, all the civil bureaucracy, all of their judiciary, and all of their politicians. And as for the government employees are concerned, whether they belong to the judiciary, whether they belong to the civil bureaucracy, whether they belong to the defense officers, none of them is having so many of the luxuries of life, none of them is having so much of the balance, and none of them is having so many of the properties. And so is the case with their elected representatives. So is the case with those who are contesting election there in India. So that is why their state is rich, and they have unbelievably high amount of foreign currency reserves in their state bank, and their state is very strong. Why? Because their ruling class, because their elites are weak, and they are not seen looting and cheating and accumulating the money. But here in Pakistan, maybe it is legal, maybe it is permitted, but if it is not legal, it is at least, you know, it is condoned, and it is not the look at any officer above the level of a colonel, or even include the colonel, and include the measures, you will find that they have so much of the money, the judges, the civil bureaucracy, and the elected representatives. And if at all the ruling class is very rich and very economically strong, and then it mean automatically that the state is very weak on the one hand, mean the state will be seen as bankrupt and hungry on the one hand, the general public too very hungry on the other hand, and very poor on the other hand. But look at the ruling and the elite class of India, since they have not accumulated so much of the money out of their jobs and out of their representatives, and that is the reason their state is strong and their public is genuinely developing. The middle class there in India is the maybe rising quickly, and there will be very little poverty left there in that country. I think that we need to learn from India. We need to learn even from Bangladesh, from the rest of the countries of the region. Look at Vietnam, the economy of Vietnam. It is very amazing. If at all we look upon their exports, we will be astonished to see that very high number of exports, not from Vietnam, from India, from Bangladesh, and maybe from certain other regional countries as well. We, the Pakistan, because we have been looted and cheated by all the ruling class, and whether they were the government employees or they were the representative, elected representatives. All of that is called ruling elites, and the ruling elites in Pakistan, they are actually maybe they are the luckiest people on earth. They are the richest people on earth. Why? Because the state is getting poorer and poorer. The general public in Pakistan too is getting poorer and poorer. That is the case, and that is the kind of comparison between the elites of India and the elites of Pakistan.